In the sweltering summer of 1991, the New York City Police Department received a chilling report. A maintenance worker at a Manhattan apartment building had discovered a locked, ice-covered picnic cooler dumped near the highway. Inside was the decomposing body of a small girl wrapped in a plastic bag. Her tiny frame bore signs of prolonged abuse, her face bruised, her teeth cracked, and her wrists marked with ligature injuries. She was no older than 4. No one knew who she was. No one came forward. She had no identification, no family looking for her, or at least none willing to say so. The city began calling her Baby Hope. The case horrified investigators and residents alike. Detectives worked tirelessly to identify her, chasing tips from every borough. They distributed sketches and composite drawings across the state. They sent her fingerprints, which were too underdeveloped for a match, to national databases. The media clung to her nickname, Baby Hope. The story of the nameless little girl buried in an unmarked grave captured the nation's attention, yet the identity of the child and her killer remained a mystery. In October of that year, she was laid to rest in St. Raymond's Cemetery in the Bronx under a headstone that read, Baby Hope, Our Little Angel, unidentified, July 23, 1991. Year after year, the case remained cold, and Baby Hope faded from the headlines. But the detectives who worked her case never gave up. The image of that small child in the cooler haunted them. As forensic techniques improved, they continued re-examining the evidence. In 2006, DNA from the child's remains was used to create a genetic profile. Still, there were no matches, no missing person reports, no family connections. It seemed Baby Hope would remain a tragic question mark in the city's history. Everything changed in 2013, more than 2 decades later, when a tip came in from an anonymous caller. The caller mentioned that a woman in Queens had spoken about a long-lost sister who had vanished under strange circumstances. Investigators tracked the woman down and began asking questions. She hesitated, then began to cry. She told them about her younger sister, Anjelica Castillo, who had disappeared when she was 4 years old. Their mother, she said, never filed a police report out of fear. The family had been undocumented, and their home life was plagued with dysfunction, abuse, and silence. They had suspected Anjelica was dead, but no one dared speak about it. Police collected DNA from Anjelica's surviving family members and compared it to the Baby Hope profile. The match was immediate and heartbreaking. Baby Hope had a name. Her name was Anjelica Castillo. She had lived in a chaotic household in Queens, surrounded by extended relatives and secrets. And someone within that very circle had murdered her. With the identification came a new push to find her killer. The investigation led them to Conrado Juarez, a cousin of Anjelica's who had lived in the same apartment at the time of her disappearance. Detectives brought him in for questioning. After hours of interrogation, Juarez confessed. He admitted that one night, while Anjelica was staying in the apartment he shared with his sister, he sexually assaulted the little girl. When she began to cry, he panicked. Afraid someone would hear, he suffocated her with a pillow. His sister helped him clean up the scene and later assisted in disposing of the body. They placed her in a cooler and dumped her near the Henry Hudson Parkway, hoping she would never be found. Juarez was arrested and charged with second-degree murder. His confession shocked even the most hardened detectives. The brutality of the act, combined with the years of silence, made the case one of the most emotionally devastating they had ever handled. During pre-trial hearings, Juarez's legal team tried to argue that his confession was coerced. But the evidence, including his knowledge of details never made public, was overwhelming. Tragically, Juarez died in jail in 2018 before he could be brought to full trial. Today, Anjelica's story remains one of New York's most tragic and unforgettable cases, a reminder of the countless children who fall through the cracks and the importance of never giving up on the voiceless.